Hello and welcome to everybody on Cloud Fitness. So in today's video of Python series, I am going to talk about while loop in Python. So I have already made a video of tutorial 20 named tutorial 20 which is regarding the for loop. I do recommend watching that because Python has two loop concepts, which is your for loop and while loop. For loop we have already discussed, and today without any further ado we are going to the PyCharm and we are going to understand how can we use while loop, what exactly a while loop is in Python. So let's go ahead, create a new Python file and I'll name it as while loop.py. So we have this while loop in Python, and when we talk about this while loop, right, it is nothing but it is almost same as the for loop. So when you talk about while loop, what exactly happens? So whenever you write a syntax for the while loop, there are a set of statements that you want that while loop to execute, right? In the while loop itself, you are going to write a set of statements that you want while loop to execute when a condition is true, and that condition also you have to specify within the while loop itself. So you do two things in the while loop. First, you specify a condition, right, which you want to be true, and then only the set of statements inside the while loop will execute when the condition which you have specified is true. Now we'll directly jump on and I'll show you the syntax so that it is pretty more clear to you. So let's say the syntax is very simple, right? For the for loop also it was very simple, for the while loop also it is very simple. Simple while keyword, this and colon. So for loop also had colon, this also has colon. Now the moment you press enter, here you write set of, so let me say print set of statements, right, or set of statements to execute. So this is what you write inside the while loop, and inside these parentheses you provide a condition. Now this condition can be anything, it can be anything. Now for example, I can say I is equal to 0, right? Now if I say I is equal to 1, so I have initialized a variable at the top and I am saying I is a variable, that variable has the value of 1, right? And then I'm saying I'm using while loop, and inside while loop I'm passing a condition. Now this condition is nothing but this condition has a value which is I equal to 0. Now this is a condition that while I is equal to 0, in that case go ahead and print me these values, right? Print me these set of statements. While this part is true, execute these statement. Now this statement can be anything, right? But this statement has to be executed only when this condition is true. Now if I run it, since this condition is not true, nothing is going to get executed because this condition is not true. But now if I change this condition and if I say while I is less than 90, right? Now let me put it this way. While I is less than 90, I is 1 here and I is less than 90. So this condition becomes true, and now when I execute it, you will actually see that it keeps on printing these statement. It is not going to stop because I is always less than 90. It is always less than 90, so it is not going to stop. It will keep on running until I stop it. So now if I go to the red button here at the top, right, red icon at the top, I just I just simply stop it. That is when it is going to stop. And now here also it is going to say keyboard interrupt. So this is what your while loop is. Now what I can do is while I is less than 90, right, in fact, and I can say I is equal to I plus 1. In fact, let me reduce this number so that it becomes easy. Let me say 5, right? And let me run it. Now what will happen is your while loop, right, I was equal to 1. It went inside the while loop. While I was equal to 1, I was less than 5. It went ahead and it printed the statement, and then it incremented I to 2, right? Likewise, it went till I was less than 5, and I has to be 4 to be less than 5, right? So it would execute this statement 4 times, right, for this to be true, right? And the moment I was 4, right? I got incremented from here. I became 4. The moment 4 was less than 5, it printed this statement, and then I became 5, and then when again it went to the while loop, I was 5. 5 less than 5 is not true, and it came out of this loop. So this is your while loop. Similarly, we use for loop as well. For loop also something that we discussed in our previous video, right? It helps you to iterate over the whole list, right? For loop helps you to iterate over a data structure which is iterable. List is iterable. Dictionary is iterable. Tuple is iterable. It helps you to iterate over it. Fetch each and every value from the list, right? It helps you to fetch each and every value from the list, and on that, if you want, you can apply any kind of transformation, right? So for example, in our previous video, if I am fetching Bhavna, then I am fetching Bedi, then I am fetching 1, 2, 3 and Cloud Fitness from this list, and if I want to apply any kind of operation on top of it, I can apply. It is going to iterate over the list. In case of while loop, right, again, as long as this condition is true, right, as long as this condition is true, whatever set of statements that you specify inside it will run, right? And the moment this while condition is not true, it is going to come out of the while loop. So I hope you like this video, you understood the concept of while loop. Do let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for being till here. Thank you so much.